Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode in City Skylines here in Town. Guys, last episode we expanded our water treatment plant, added in more water pumps and sewage basins so we can handle the demands and the needs of the city. We even created the beginning, the foundations out of our little kind of garbage plant too, which is pumping out quite a few trucks right now to handle all the garbage in the city, which is something that we've needed for quite some time. I asked you guys last episode as well 3 questions. Where should I place the prison, the zoo and the theme park? And I've got some really good locations. I won't reveal all of them today, but today, you probably seen by the title and the thumbnail of the video, we're going to be building ALCATRAZ. We're going to be sticking a prison on an island. How sweet is that going to be? It's going to be pretty cool. So there's probably going to be a few little problems. Stuff like garbage pickup, maybe a little bit of police in there, fire brigade services, what kind of good stuff. We'll see how it kind of reacts and goes first. I mean, the only way we're going to have access to it to begin with is via the boats or the ferry system. So we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, we have to kind of like pretend and kind of create like a road towards it. We'll stick it underground and act like nobody knows it exists or can see it. But ultimately, we'll just kind of see how we rock and roll. So yeah, the garbage plant is pumping out tons of trucks. There was a lot queued up here, but it seems like they've all gone through. So that one's got 40 out, that one's got 20 out, that one's got 30 out, that one's got 78 out. This one over here's got 64 out. That's got 59. There's a lot of garbage trucks. But garbage collection has never been so good in the city, which is really, really dope. We've kind of plateaued a little bit too with the population, so I feel like we've hit our limits again, and it's 508,000. I'm not sure if we're experiencing a death wave. No, but we do have quite a few deaths, and we do have quite a few births, and that's all down to the fact that how big the freaking population is right now. Now, let's talk about the ALCATRAZ then. So, like you guys get some comments, like not to put it too close to the docks. Ooh, is the airport working? The airport's working. Yeah. That one just took off, that one just landed, and that one's going off. I knew I fixed it. Not to also put it too close to the beach, so I'm thinking we just kind of stick it in the middle slightly. Someone suggested that I should put the Statue of Liberty on the same island. I think that's a little bit mean. Because like the Statue of Liberty represents like freedom when like all the immigrants came by boat, and that was the first thing that they passed as they entered into like the New York City area. But we also put it near a prison. I thought that was hilarious. Let me know what you guys think of that. We might do it just for the funsies, but we'll see. Now the issue we're gonna have is it might cause a little bit of flooding. I also don't know how big to build the island. Now over here, we have the prison that we kind of originally had in. I have looked in the Steam Workshop. There wasn't any kind of ALCATRAZ replicas. I do have a couple of stuff over here. Like I have this Deluxe police station, which looks very similar to this one. Yeah, it's just a darker color. It's just been reskinned. Does it have any different capabilities? Prison van capacity 100 versus the original one of 5. Okay, so it's basically a higher capacity. I get ya. We're going to delete this one too as well. They are all gone. But I also got these as well. I just didn't kind of mention it there. These little weird ones. What's the capacity? Van free. So if I drop these down quickly, they're like little, not abandoned ones. It has like a really nice theme. Because ALCATRAZ is slightly, well, I say it's slightly. It's technically abandoned, but you can go there if that makes sense. It's an abandoned prison in the term that it's like no longer being used. And I believe as well we have props. And I always forget how I find them. Is it growable net structures? It's here. So is this it? No, that's castle ruins. I always forget how to find stuff very easy, but we'll kind of check it out a little bit later. I believe we have like ploppable. There we go. I believe we have like walls and like a few other different types of structures that are not technically a part of it. So we've got the prison section there. I'll figure it out and find it a little bit later, but you kind of get the gist of it. I don't know how I'm going to go with it. I might just go with a normal one, to be honest. We'll kind of see how it goes. But as of right now, we don't have any prison in the city. So we're going to have to create Alcatraz. I might just actually create like a prison in the city anyway. And just have this really cool Alcatraz hanging out. But I'm going to put into pause for a second. And we're going to bring up the terraforming. I'll go for a larger brush size. And I think we'll take it from this, about here, this height to begin with. And there's little patches already in the water. That's not from me, that is from the game. But oh, let me kind of find out where the boat route is, you know, for the shipping lane. So it comes in, goes up, around, and back down. So literally here is perfect. Anywhere in the middle there is perfect. Right, okay, so yeah, let's just kind of pick it here. Let's go a little bit larger. I don't know how big we're going to go with it as well. So I just kind of pick like this nice little spot. This island's already way too big. But I just want to kind of smoothen it down. And I don't want to create it as a circle. I want to give it a little bit of a shape to it. So we're not replicating Alcatraz in any way, shape or form. At all. It's just, you know, we're creating our own version of it in Foolstown. Now, if I just kind of not smoothing these as much, and it creates that nice little island there. We're going to put it into, no, actually, we're not putting it into play mode just yet. I want to smoothen some of the sides out a bit more to make it look a little bit more natural. I've actually been to San Francisco, and I've not been to Alcatraz, because when I wanted to go, some of the tours that were going out there were kind of fully booked. I was foolish not to book in advance. But I've seen it from the shoreline, in many different angles. And it's quite a sight to behold. Right, this is going to cause now some flooding towards the edges, because the water goes at the top and disappears and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll just give it some time to kind of let the water settle and just move. So, yeah. I feel like we're going to have to technically have a road for this. But what we'll do, we'll just stick it underground and connect it to somewhere that you can't see it. Just for the sake of emergency vehicles being able to get to and from it. That's just solely to make the building work. You know, it's not going to be using any other formal method. And we'll just only allow service vehicles to get to it. That's if it complains too much. But we're going to have a boat system going over to it, which will probably pick up a little boat route coming from the dock area to get over there. But again, we just got to give it some time for the water just to disappear slightly. So I do want to create like a big state penitentiary. And I feel like that's something that should be put further out into the wilderness, like over all these humps and bumps. Like the more maximized prison. That's like the modern prison. It's like it's like the city had the Alcatraz, and then, you know, like the real Alcatraz, over years it started to decay. It became too expensive to run, and it didn't have the capacity. So they eventually went to build like a bigger, high security, high tech, you know, penitentiary further out in the wilderness. So that's the kind of, well, to be honest, that's the way we're doing it right now. Think of it like that. We're building this one first, and then we'll go on to the next one. But the water is slowly disappearing and slowly separating. How big is now a prison on this? So we can actually drop a couple on, just for the sake of it. And I could just, you know what I could actually do? I could place a police station, the fire service, and a recycling centre all on there, and integrate it with the whole prison system to look like, you know, it's all part of the same structure. And it would also be another way for prisoners. They could have jobs to, like, you know, maintain the services and stuff on the island. It would be quite cool. So let's actually get a road down. I'm thinking we're going to go for the industrial road, because it just has that nice, really cool effect. And yeah, let's just go straight across here. Right, what I'll do is, do you know what I'll do actually? Let's pause. I'll do like a nice semi-grid effect, and we'll add in bends and curves and stuff. So that one's a little bit more funky. Right, okay, so let's add the bends and curves on the stuff that I want to add it to now. Right, let's just start with these ones first. So a nice little curve there. Alright, let's go there. Straight up. And then delete this one here. So bring that curve round. We're going to place all rocks and stuff around it. You know, to treat it like an actual kind of prison styly. And this one's a little bit weird now, isn't it? So let's kind of go back from there. There we go. Bends round. It's not so straight. But you kind of think they're following the curvature of the place. We'll add in additional roads when we kind of, you know, shuffle some of the buildings around. So, shall we go for this type of prison? I feel like we need to cut in slightly. There we go. Oh, hang on. We need to actually make room as well. For the boats. It's just basically a ferry stop we're going to be creating. And I think we should have it on this side of the island. There we go. So it's important to get that in first. And let's see. Do I create bends on these? And this one. So, creating like a complex road network structure. There we go. Outer roads, inner roads. Seems quite complex, but we got to throw a lot down on it. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, do I go for these? If I can find the actual proper parts to it, then it could be good. How does it look? Yeah. It looks. It definitely looks. Nothing to do with walls or things that we currently have right now that throws in there. There's all the stuffs. Let me check the props then. So I always forget where to go for this. It's really, I'm using the find it thing here. So if I type in prism, let me go all. Ah, there we go. There's all some of the tower stuff now. So like the prison entrance, we can create these little cool little tower stuff. What's this one here? The watchtower, which is quite spooky. So I feel like, you know what? We're gonna actually get rid of all the road in the middle. There we go. And then we'll kind of create it ourselves. So we will have, let me actually delete and start again. I'll actually, you know, every time I'm going to say the word actually, but I'll have that come straight down. And then we'll build upon around this. Right. So we'll have this side there. That there and there. We have the Dulux police station there. Then we've got these galleries, which if I can place on the collisions, nice. Well, the road anarchy stuff, it allows me to place it through some of the areas and the buildings. And let's kind of go off this slightly. So we'll create like slight rooms. And I'll keep the rotation going as we build upon it. I haven't got to worry too much as well about, if you think about it, I ain't got to worry too much about them trying to escape because they're on a freaking island. But then again, people did escape ALCATRAZ. There is something else I gotta remember. So a couple of little entrances there. What towers have we got? Alright, we'll go with this tower. There. And because these are almost like walls, even though they're not walls, but you can kind of treat them as a wall. Alright, try and turn this a bit more. Right, let's actually deselect that, and it'd be nice to then move this a bit closer into it, which is actually pretty sweet, mate. Move that in, which is quite nice. And we just kind of finish up all the sides of the walls now. Oh, there we go. So I'm treating this as a way of, well, I'm treating it as a wall, but it's not the main thing we should take from this, because you're creating this glorious prison style-less. It's almost like a castle, which is pretty cool in its own way as well. So put these to the edges, push that, let's slightly rotate it to get it against the road edge. There we go. And then what other pieces we got then? So I want to intertwine other pieces that we do have. Like we have these little taller towers as well, which I could integrate these. I know it's like a clock tower or a watchtower. What comes into the side there. And if I then do one of these on each corner, so one there. Let's turn one there. And if possible, we could do something there and there. We can get those kind of dormitories to go away around, so we're creating these little crossing paths as well, like segregated into smaller little areas. And then we'll have these buildings come off one another to build it up all on the inside. We just kind of have to keep rotating it, or just like drop them regularly in the middle. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? It really does. Right, let's see what it like if I throw a little bit more of this down. So if I can get it as close to this as possible. Actually, it's quite cool because now it's integrated into that, which I really do like. Right, we'll take it from the... We'll try and always take it from the tower. And that is just before the stairs there, and that's even more perfect too. Ooh, I like how this is coming along right now. I like it. They don't have really big capacities either, I gotta remember that. And these are just props. They don't really do anything. So there's no benefit for me placing these down apart from, you know, pure decoration. Right, what I'll do now then. Move that one over. And then we'll drop two of these in to kind of separate it. Looks good. Right, let's continue the momentum. And we'll come from this angle as well. Which this is where it actually could be a little bit more difficult. So let's just keep going with this. And then when it gets a little bit more difficult, I can come out with like more towers. There we go. To build up the edges and kind of just take away from this whole little section. Oh, that completely messed up, didn't it? How did that one mess up so bad? It's just easy to delete that. And keep it going. So nice little building structure. Keep this side rocking and rolling too. Alright, there we go. So I want to build this little area up a bit more too. So I'll place down a couple of those little towers there just to kind of create some structure, and that kind of looks then like a little bit like a chimney, doesn't it? Which looks really good as well. And then we just kind of intertwine. And then squeeze it a bit more. So it's just to kind of build it up, even though the roof structure looks kind of crazy, but it's like a lot of crammed in buildings. So, yeah, it looks nice. I do like it. And then we'll place down some more of these buildings there, like on the outskirts, but then push it in. And we'll do the bigger one too. Let me get out of this view. So it's moving that one over slightly, push it in a bit. And then just come off it slightly like that. So it all looks being like part in the middle, which looks really nice. And I want to continue the momentum going around the whole island before we add in the rest of the decoration. So let me get a few more bits of it set up. I'll create like a small little service area at the back or something like that. And we'll trim the island a bit more so it's a little bit closer to the roads. And then add in a few little rocks. And then this is really going to be our Alcatraz kind of all set up. Right, I've added a few more little bits and bobs and I'll kind of trim the island a little bit. Just waiting for the water flow to change to see where it falls before I do a little bit more work. We need to add in, I've added a few little services in too, which I still need to change up. But we need to add in water and electricity very soon too. Let me just come back to this and then start to push this back a lot more. So if I kind of like create these little platform layers. And what it also does as well, it creates almost like little cliffs along the edges, but then we kind of like just pamper it a bit. And then with that said, we'll let the water kind of fill in the gaps and do the rest before we place some rocks down and stuff like that. So we'll let it just to continue. It looks quite cool and off the beaten track. Wait for the grass to grow as well, look a little bit different. I might concrete some of it too. But wait for the water to settle. So while we wait for the water to settle, let's just quickly drop down some pipes. Nothing too crazy. Nice and simple. There we go. Let's try and get it connected pretty much to the main grid. And then we need some electricity. So I'm thinking because they're going to arrive by boat anyway, and there's going to be vehicles on here, we need to throw in some... Well, we're going to need to have some parking, aren't we, really? both versions of parking, to be honest. So if I actually go to the roads here and bring that road straight across, we can drop some on there. Now bring that road up slightly too. We can place down some normal car parking spots. But let me get these ones down in first. So I'll place these around by the ferry dock. And I wonder if it's going to be enough electricity. Ooh, we're actually a little bit too low here. Right. Can I drag? Let me select all of this here quickly. And spring it up slightly. Hopefully that is enough. We'll see. It's not enough electricity, I can tell. So why not get right, we'll merge them through a little bit as well. There we go. So we've got a couple there. Nice little bunch on the side of the island. Oh, this is not actually touching the road. Do the others moan about that? Oh, they're all getting electricity. Will that last one get a little bit of electricity? No, we definitely need some more then. Okay. Right. Just place some here and here. We'll fill in the gaps anyway with the normal parking spots. If I move this to filter into the gap there, that's fine. Right, we're all good. We're all good, we're all good, we're all good. So this is, again, the base setup. But let me pull out some rocks right now. So I could paintbrush some rocks, but it's not going to do it justice because it's on the slope there. And the brush size is actually a bit too small, isn't it? Paintbrush a couple of rocks and give a definition, but there's nothing better than actually placing them down ourselves. Right, how does it look? I might want chunkier rocks. Just coming off the cliff edge there. What have we got that we could throw down? These are bulkier rocks. But sometimes they change the flow of the water around it. So we'll see how it likes it. And I like how it goes over the road as well, because you got to think it is an abandoned place. You know, you got to remember that. So, you know, it looks overgrown and stuff like that, which is really cool. It's going to be pretty sweet. I'm already liking this little section. Right, we'll go around with the big rocks then to begin with. And drop down these in places I want them to be. And then we'll kind of then add in all the smaller rocks, all the definition. As time goes on. See, that's what I mean there. You can see by the edge there how the water's flowing a little bit weird around it. Right then, let's get some definition. It's a nice chunkier rock there. I want some. Where's the rock with the slope? Is it that one? No, it's not that one. It's this one here. So what we could place this filtering around it. Creates that undercove that leans over. But at the same time we can do it lean over those roads as well. Let me get these chunkier bad boys in. That have always been on the island. And we can't forget as well, we need to add in the definition. The rocks are causing flooding for us. And it's when they come out into the yard and they, do you know in like movies when you see like prisoners and they're like, you know, with pickaxes and they're like hitting rocks and stuff like that? Does that still happen in real life? I have no idea. Or is that just a thing that happened in the movies? I feel like it could have been. Like just a movie thing. But you can now see the water's changing effect to the island. But us adding rocks is glorious as well. So we got some vegetation we can drop down. Because you want to make this place overgrown. Try and go for a few different colours and stuff of vegetation. Oh, the academic report's coming. Still prestigious. Nice. We'll wait for the water to settle. And we should be okay. I'm hoping that the water has settled and this is not the new level of water. Because it looks a little bit too high, doesn't it? It does look a little high. But is it retreating back in? I think it could be. So I think we need to concrete some of the areas anyway that we want. Obviously not all of it. Like I'd definitely concrete the like little services areas. And obviously you want to get some more parking in. So I'll concrete that side of it anyway. And then we need to go to the parks and then find the car parks, which here we go. So we drop in, we got 3 there. Let's move it. So we've got 3 in there. It looks nice, isn't it, with the definition? I think the water is now starting to like slowly retreat back into the sea, which is good. It should move over to that side fairly soon as well. It's just the rocks, they change the flow of the water, which can be annoying. But it's nothing that we can't handle. So place 1 there. It fits in beautifully. And we'll do a little bit of concreteness around here. But not a lot. It's like as if it went around the edges of the prison, like the building. But yeah, it's not a lot. Maybe there was a square going around this building here. And let's say we had a path that went through up to like a main entrance. But yeah, there's not really a lot going on in this. There's not really a lot going on. Right, the sea is going to take a while before it's settled down and it stops flooding the place. But yeah, interesting. But now, yeah, we need to create the Ferry Connection. So where do we have? We're on boats, the Ferry Connection. I mean, the closest one we have is over there. But it might be nice as well to add in something a little bit closer. I mean, I don't know if we take one up there. I feel like we should, but it should be by the dock area. I mean, pretty cool to squeeze in there. That's the downside to this. There we go. The downside to that is obviously it can't be a industrial road, unfortunately. But we've got flooding in the dock area as well, because obviously the Alcatraz Island has kind of messed everything up for us. But it still looks good. Still looks good. Maybe it might be a better idea to slightly rise it too. A little bit more. There we go. Create more of a cliff edge, which ain't too shabby. And do the same on this side. So let's pick up the... I'm trying to get the road. Yeah, so it creates more of a cliff edge. And we'll see how it rock and rolls. Yeah, you just got to give it time for the water to disperse. So we'll create then... Well, we need to do a ferry line, don't we? Alright, run this up. And I'm going to have to create a ferry line connecting over as well, or down here. Let's run it with the ship line. So we can get like the ferries coming from the ferry depot that we have set up further up. And we just want a simple line that goes back and forth. So this means that we don't really need to have the underground tunnel, because workers can just jump on the ferry and then get over here and, you know, do what they've got to do, in a sense, for if it is needed. Take time before the water slowly disappears. There's already someone on the island, as you can see. We got a garbage truck just driving around slowly. It's pretty dope, man. This place is pretty cool. We just got to wait for all the grass to grow. And how sweet is that going to look? And wait for that water to disappear too. Right, I've got it in ×9. It won't really change by much at this point. Take a while for the water to go. Take a while for it to turn green. Can I paint it green? Like grass? No, it's ruined, isn't it? It's a ruined texture. I can add the ruined texture to it. Or is the ruined texture... No, okay, I can't really add it to it. It won't let me. We got clip. No. Is that the sand one? That's a field one. We have a gravel as well. Place some gravel down. And we'll just kind of see how that kind of plays out when the grass does eventually grow back. So now we've kind of called upon the ferries, or the ferry, you know, line set up. I wonder how long it will take before we start seeing ferries arrive. Oh, we've actually got one on the way down already, which is pretty cool. No one should be waiting anyway, because again, we don't have anything set up for it. But it's still cool nonetheless, boys. It's still cool nonetheless. So our little Alcatraz is kind of set up. Which, it is cool. It's still a work in progress, guys. I want to find more assets as episodes go on that we can add to it. But it's kind of like our abandoned prison. It also looks like a medieval town. It also looks like a very old European style building. But, yeah. Remember, it's abandoned. It's not to be used. But we'll build the real prison at some point in the future. Now, water's still overflowing, isn't it? It just doesn't like this whole area. So I'm trying to find all the little spots here to keep it all slightly raised. And then the hopefully the water will soon disappear. It's going to filter on down anyway and spread out, but no more should hit the island anyway. Right, the first ferry boat has hit the dock and is now travelling to the island. No one's on it. Oh, about to say it's 10% filled. No, but it's destination travelled. I was going to say for a second there, what's going on? What's going on? But yeah, our little mini ALCATRAZ has been added in. Took a little bit of heartache. We're trying to sort out the waters, but hopefully they have now settled and it's all Gucci, boys. It's all Gucci. So yeah, we just got to wait for the grass to grow back. And it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. And eventually that water will soon disappear as well. So let's take a look at the rest of the city then. We got any other issues while we're waiting for that grass to slowly grow back? Do you know what? For the first time in a long time, we don't have many issues. We just have the usual industrial issues that we always have. Always have had, always will have. But not enough buyers for products. They're never going to be happy. They're never going to be happy. What's going on over here? Not enough special goods. They need metals. More metals, boys. So they're never going to be happy anyway. We got a little bit of traffic, it looks like, down here too. Interesting. It's a two-way lane in, isn't it? So what I could say is, that takes that lane and that takes the other lane. So then at least they're all filtering in some degree. No crossing allowed. They can back up. That shall continually make the traffic go to where it needs to go. Does that, even though that, yeah, that's still turning. But I want it to go into that lane, so this traffic can also filter in. And just give it time. There's not a lot there anyway, but give it time, it should settle. It should settle. How's our other area we set up like a few episodes ago with the trams and all that? Is actually, you know, not far off looking like this colour. There's a yellow tinge here. There's a blue tinge over there in the buildings. And take it, yeah, because they're not fully upgraded. They say it takes a while to fully upgrade them, but they're getting there. They are getting there. And how is the public transport being used? So for the trams, 709, glorious. 328 for the monorail. And again, we only have one monorail system in, which is pretty cool. Really, really impressed with that, to be honest. We're actually losing money right now. For the longest time, we haven't been losing money. Is that because the Fallstown University is dipping a bit? We need to build the other ones eventually. We need to eventually get those in. Oh dear God, why is there so much freaking flooding? Are these really at different elevations? Or are we just getting a wave of water coming in because of how it is? If I select it all here and just pump it up a bit, just make this island slightly higher than what it is. It shouldn't get hit by waves anymore. But you just never know, right? You literally just never know. Right, this is now complaining that it's not touching the road. I think that's because I've moved it, isn't it? There we go. Might as well just kind of close it in slightly. I understand the issues. Right, let's do it like this. And that's actually pretty cool. Quite a nice little entrance, to be honest. I prefer that actually kind of design a lot better. That actually looks really, really good. So yeah, I can see it being a long time before we get any grass in here. No ferry is serving anybody. There is nobody on this. There's still got to be nobody waiting still, right? Nobody can be waiting because nobody wants to go to this area at all. But it's possible if they want to go there. Guys, I think I'm going to end this episode today then. So we kind of built the start of our little ALCATRAZ, which is pretty dope. We'll see how things progress over time as we add more and more to it. You got any ideas or suggestions you want me to do with this? Let me know in the comment section down below. We could do a little bit more electricity on the island too. So that could just be simply in the form of placing down a couple more electricity solar panel points. And it could be down to the fact that some of them are being flooded. That's why it's classing that there's not enough electricity on the island. But the flood will eventually disappear. The water shall eventually be gone. The grass will eventually grow back. And this place will look glorious. Pretty much like the rest of the city. It is fantastic. Look at the amount of garbage trucks coming out of this area again. A lot of them are now coming in. Let me just turn off traffic lights here. There we go. Have it free flowing so they move. So they don't back up the highway. But they're all bringing garbage, which then brings power. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So next episode then, guys, we're going to get back to building some more infrastructure and set up to the city. I want to kind of focus on this area and try and get this little kind of peninsula done. Because now we've kind of put the canal system that goes through. It kind of almost creates this as an island, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. In terms of the zoo and the theme park, I know exactly where they're going to go, guys. I know exactly where they're going to go. But I'll leave that for another episode to surprise you. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode, guys. If you have, smash that like button down below. If you aren't new around here, make sure you subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.